The importance of etiquette. Dining etiquette is vital in every situation, whether you're dining with your family, your friends, your colleagues, your boss, or your potential employer. Dining etiquette is vital. When you know a few simple rules and guidelines, you will not only do it perfectly, but you will also be able to relax and enjoy the beautiful meal and presentation. Today we have a lovely set of china, and this china is made by Rosenthal. It's a Versace pattern called Medusa. And this is my own personal china. The largest plate at the bottom is your charger, and then the dinner plate, and in this case, the soup bowl and serving plate underneath that. A white tablecloth is more important or formal than a colored tablecloth, and the longer the tablecloth, the more formal the dinner. On my left is going to be my napkin, and a dinner napkin is going to be much larger than this napkin. It would be about 24 inches square, where this would be about 18 inches. So I'm opening the napkin so the fold is at the top, and the fold goes at my waist. Then I'm going to use my napkin like this and like this, rather than like this. So we have everything in front of us, and when you know the tools of the table, you will truly know how to dine, and you will also know exactly what's going to be served based on the cutlery. So the general guideline would be whatever is being served, you're starting with the cutlery that's on the outside and working in. So I'm indicating here that we're having soup in the beginning. So that's what happens to be first on my list here. So let's start with a couple of guidelines before we start with our soup. We have two guidelines, and I'm going to say that the first one is always, sometimes, and never. So the hands are now always seen at the table. And this makes it easier in our global economy for trust to go up when the hands are seen. So the hands are seen, the forearms are sometimes seen, but the elbows are never on the table. Then we have another guideline and suggestion, and that is the D and the B. So if you were looking at me, you'll see this the opposite way, but on my right is the letter that's the shape of a D, as in drinks. On my left, your right, you're going to see that this hand is in the shape of a B for bread. This means that at a very big banquet, when you're not sure whose bread that is, you'll easily be able to tell because your drinks are on your right and your bread is on your left. So we know we're starting with soup, and you never salt and pepper or season anything until after you've tasted it. So the soup spoon is on my furthest right, so I'm going to use that first. The soup spoon goes in closest to you and then moves away from you, catching any drip on the far side of your soup bowl. Then you come forward, never down, and you bring the soup up and you sip on the side. You're not putting the full soup spoon in your mouth. You never stir to cool it off, and you never blow. So say I've now tasted my soup and I decide it definitely needs a touch of salt. So I would take the salt shaker like this to see how much actually comes out of the salt shaker, and then add it to my soup, and then I would continue. Try to pace yourself at the same pace that the other guests are eating. You do not want to be the last person to finish each of the courses. If you are the last and everyone else is finished, just assume that you're finished as well. So I could leave the soup spoon in the soup bowl, or I could set it on the plate underneath, because this comes as a unit. Now when the staff serves, they're going to serve from your left and take from your right. So the staff would have served me this way. My job is to remain still. Then they're going to take my plate from the right. So for purpose of demonstration, I'll set it over here. Now we have the dinner plate next. However, the staff may then come and serve me from the left with a salad plate, and it would be approximately the same size as the bread and butter plate. If you're dining in Europe, the Salad is actually going to come after your entree, but in North America it tends to come now prior to the entree. Now here I have 2 knives and 2 forks, and for the purpose of demonstration I will use this as though it is my salad plate. So I would take my outside fork and outside knife, and that would be for my salad. Remember that a knife, the sharp edge is always pointing inward, as outward is far too aggressive. And then I'm going to take my cutlery and using it in a European style, not making American wrong, but using a global approach, which is the continental or European way, and I'm going to cut one bite and bring it up to my mouth like this and eat it. Cut another bite and then eat. If I'm resting, the cutlery is open at the base, and then I'm going to use my napkin like this and like this. And then I would continue cutting. If I'm finished, I'm going to indicate that I am finished by putting my cutlery in a 6-12 or 4-10 position. And that would indicate to the staff that I'm finished. And again, for the purposes of demonstration, we'll remove that. Of course, everything would go to the kitchen area, none of which would be seen or anything functional while serving at a dinner party. And my personal staff, when we serve for our modern day finishing school and the executive finishing school, they use white glove service, making it just one step better. So now we have our entree here, and that would be the 2 remaining pieces of cutlery that are outside your plate. And again, it would be cut, eat, cut, eat. Many times I see people eat all their potatoes first and then eat their meat and then eat their carrots. That's not really the plan at all. But the fork always stays in your left hand in this position with the base down here, and it's cut, eat. And you're moving forward, not down, bringing the food up to you. If you spill something, leave it there. Just pretend it didn't happen. And there's no way, if your napkin slides off your lap, that you can pick it up. So you just request another napkin from the host. If you manage to spill your water glass or your wine, I recommend you just take your napkin like this. And the staff would then take care of this for you in a very quiet manner. So it's no dabbing like this or dabbing like this, but slow movements will add a level of elegance to this. So if I am finished my entree, then again this plate would be removed to my right. At the time that my dinner plate is removed, so is the charger, which is underneath my dinner plate. Now, we both know in really great restaurants, the charger is there when you sit down, then they give you the menu, and then they take the menu and the charger away. But I personally leave my chargers here because I think they look nice. The cutlery that's at the top of your plate, which of course then the plate is removed, but this cutlery above the plate is for your dessert. And those items are not lifted up, but slid around. And if the waitstaff doesn't do that for you, then you would do that yourself. Prior to moving the cutlery above your plate, everything is removed from the table, the salt and pepper, the bread and the butter, and all of those kinds of things. Now, there's so much to learn on an etiquette lesson that I'm going to leave you right there. And we're going to come back and do the tea and coffee and the dessert and give you a few other tips that will help you be fabulous at the dining table. Gloria Starr, International Image, Etiquette, Communication, and Leadership Coach of Choice.